It begins with a revolution in Sakova, a Russian state. Dmitry and Arkady, two brothers, spearheaded this revolution. They instigated a riot in the state of Sakovia for the state to gain independence from Russia. When Russia declared war, Dmitry was reportedly killed. At the same time, Arkady was captured by the Russian government, effectively ending the revolution in Sakova. Arkady discovers that Dmitry is still alive 17 years later. Dmitry, it turns out, had pretended to die, had surgery on his face, and then vanished. Arkady travels to London in search of his brother. Some of Arkady's men are pursuing an informant who knows where Dmitry is on a deserted street. The informant continues to flee. Dmitry does not want his whereabouts to be revealed because if he is discovered and forced to return to Sokovia, a new and lethal revolution may erupt. Unfortunately, Arkady's men apprehend the informant and take him to a torture facility, but the informant remains silent. A special American soldier named Michael Knox arrives at the London airport. He moved to London to meet the family of a late friend who had fought in Afghanistan. Danny is the daughter of his late friend. She is a rebellious girl who often does bad things and is frequently punished by her mother. Danny, who is sneaking out the window as she arrives at her best friend's house, is apprehended by Knox, who has just arrived. Danny invites Knox into the house after they immediately embrace. Knox's arrival is an invitation to a football game at West Ham Stadium. When they arrive at the stadium, Danny tells him about her grief over her father's death. Her father was more concerned with state affairs than with the family, which disappointed her. Soon after, Danny's boyfriend texts her, asking her to meet him in the stadium's northwest corner. Danny then requests that Knox buy her some snacks because she is hungry. Meanwhile, Arkady's men enter the stadium by disguising themselves as match officials. They break into a room and hack all CCTV camera systems. They assassinate a guard and break into the stadium control room. Arkady's men kill some staff in the room to warn the other staff to obey their orders. Police Chief Thompson, who is in charge of the match, is also seen in the control room. Arkady menaces Thompson with a gun and threatens to kill his family if he refuses his orders. Whether he likes it or not, Thompson eventually obeys. The first thing Arkady does is close all of the stadium's entrances and exits. A computer system automatically closes all stadium doors, preventing spectators inside the stadium from leaving. Furthermore, all of the stadium's cell phone signal transmitters are damaged. Danny is nowhere to be found when Knox returns to his seat. He then attempts to call Danny, but the cell phone signal abruptly dies. On the other hand, Knox is unaware of any sabotage inside the stadium. He approaches a member of the stadium staff named Faisal, standing guard in the stands near the audience seats and beginning to panic. He directs Faisal to search for CCTV footage of Danny. Faisal then contacts the control room to locate the missing person, but the security officers do not respond. Knox forces Faisal to take him to the control room on the top side of the stadium. Faisal reluctantly agrees. They are about to enter the elevator when Arkady's men, disguised as guards, stop them. Since Knox insists on going to the control room, Arkady's henchman Andrei lets them into the elevator. Andrei's expression changes as he enters the elevator. He makes a sudden move to attack the two of them. There is quite a fight in the elevator until Knox starts choking Andrei. Knox directs Faisal to retrieve a gun from the elevator floor and fire at Andrei's head. Finally, Andrei is murdered and his body is dragged into the toilet. They discover explosives in the bag. They are both aware that the stadium is in danger of being bombed during a football match. Knox can contact the police chief outside the stadium using Faisal's walkie-talkie. He informs him of an emergency in which the stadium could be sabotaged. The police commander does not immediately believe Knox's complaint. The police commander contacts Thompson. Unfortunately, Thompson, who is being held hostage by Arkady, then lies by saying everything is safe inside the stadium. Arkady's men are looking for Dmitry, who is allegedly in the row of spectators watching the game in another corner of the stadium. While the rest of Arkady's men are busy installing bombs in the stadium's corners, Dmitry's men continue to screen the audience's faces through the computer screens he had hacked. Soon after, Arkady in the control room then receives a complaint from one of his female subordinates, Tatiana, who informs him of Andrei's disappearance. Finally, Two of Arkadi's men search for Andre and discover his body in the toilet. Knowing that one of his men is dead, Arkady dispatches two other men, Vlad and Anton, to find the person responsible for Andre's death. Knox is well aware that Arkady's men will soon pursue him, so he tells Faisal to sprint and look for Danny in the row of audience seats. Faisal escapes through the stadium kitchen's tiny elevator ventilation gap. Meanwhile, Knox remains in the kitchen, confronted by Vlad and Anton. They engage in a fierce battle. Knox could kill Anton not long after, but Vlad, who is strong, makes it difficult for him. The fight continues, and Knox gets engrossed in action. Fortunately, because of his battlefield experience, he has a good strategy for defeating opponents, especially when time is of the essence. Finally, he can pitifully depose Vlad, immersing him in boiling water. Tatiana, Vlad's girlfriend, enters the kitchen to inspect the situation. She is furious when she discovers that her boyfriend has died with a charred face. Meanwhile, Knox makes his way out of the kitchen with Anton's body. He throws Anton's body out of the stadium, alerting the police stationed outside of the stadium to the dangerous situation inside. When the police spotted a body thrown from the stadium's roof, they realized the situation was serious. Arkady and his men go to the TV broadcast room, where several TV crews show the ongoing match. They abruptly fire several TV crews, and the shooting is broadcast live on the local television station. Arkady asks one of the reporters to read his message over a TV broadcast, which includes a threat to blow up the stadium if police try to enter. The message is addressed to the British government and will be relayed to the Russian government to locate Dmitry before the match ends. Arkady kills two reporters after they read the message. The shooting is captured on a TV station, which causes panic among London residents and Danny's mother, who is watching the match on TV. Through CCTV footage, one of Arkady's men can determine who is responsible for the attack on their men. He knows Knox's true identity, and CCTV footage reveals that Knox arrived at the stadium with a girl named Danny. Since the computer is linked to the police database, Danny's identity is displayed on the screen. Danny is seen walking near the field, and Knox is attempting to pursue her. The police officers undoubtedly thwart Knox's falling and shouting on duty in the field. Fortunately, Faisal can seize Danny and whisk her away to meet Knox in the stadium's back room. After Knox locates them, the three attempt to locate the bombs hidden in various locations. Knox summons the police chief outside and informs him that the bomb is difficult to defuse unless Arkady presses the defuse button. The only way he could take Arkady's bomb disposal button is to tell him where Dmitry is in the row of spectators. Dmitry is watching the game in the east end of the stands, according to the police chief. Knox plans to approach Dmitry in the audience. He tells Faisal to hide with Danny in another corner of the stadium, and they part ways. Arkady's men attempt to block Knox's path to the stands. He can overthrow Arkady's men by riding a police motorcycle. He makes it to the east stand and meets with Dmitry. While speaking with Dmitry, Arkady notices it on CCTV and learns that his brother has been found. Meanwhile, Tatiana discovers where Danny and Faisal are hiding. She then paralyzes Faisal and kidnaps Danny. On the other side of the stadium, Knox is seen bringing Dmitry to the stadium's roof, even though his struggle is difficult because Arkady's men keep approaching and attacking him. Knox proposes a hostage swap between Danny and Dmitry above the stadium. But instead of returning to Sokovia with his brother and restarting the revolution, Dmitry asks Knox to kill him. Dmitry decided that continuing his revolutionary movement would only make his people unhappy. Long story short, the hostage exchange continues above the stadium, where the police helicopter is also present. Danny requests the exchange after all of the spectators have left the stadium. Even if the exchange had occurred, she knew the bomb would still detonate. Knox asks Danny to walk and immediately exchanges words. When Danny walks to the center, it turns out that she sees not Dmitry but Knox, disguised in Dmitry's clothes, approaching her. Danny then runs up to Dmitry, and they both bolt from the stands above the stadium. The cops assist by shooting Arkady's men from the helicopter. When Knox immobilizes Arkady and retrieves his bomb disposal button, a fierce battle ensues. Tatiana attacks Knox until he has to hang on to save his bomb disposal button. When he lands in the other stands, Tatiana appears behind him and starts attacking him with a knife. They fight until they are knocked out of the stands. Tatiana's body gets stuck in the iron when she falls. Before passing away, she stated that the bomb disposal did not work because the bomb continued to detonate when the game reached the 90th minute. According to the control room, Dimitri and Danny have been apprehended by one of Arkadi's men. Dimitri explains why he faked his death and vanished there. He wanted to save Arkady, who was about to be executed. He takes a gun lying on the table and fires himself to save his brother and end the war. Arkady is so shocked and irritated by this unexpected incident that he fires his gun at the men who had brought Dimitri to him. Knox approaches Faisal in one corner of the field and asks him to inform the audience to leave their seats. However, when Faisal announces that he is carrying a bomb, the audience quickly disperses. Later, Knox is on the field with Danny, who is in the control room watching Arkady's broadcast. He makes every effort to run toward the control room. Unfortunately, the match is approaching the 90th minute when the bomb explodes in the control room and a loud explosion is heard. Knox feels guilty for not being able to care for Danny. However, he believes that the footage shown on the stadium screen just before the explosion was not captured in the control room. He dashes into the middle of the field, which appears chaotic due to the number of people running. He noticed Arkady pointing a gun at Danny's neck. Danny can escape by stomping her head against Arkady, Knox advising her. Knox then shoots Arkady, killing him. Many people still choose to do good. Dimitri is a character who chooses exile in another country to avoid bloodshed. Faisal assisted Danny and Knox despite not knowing either of them. The main character, who has nothing to do with Russia's revolution, Knox, was able to help the people of Sakova not live in misery because the revolutionary movement was successfully quelled. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button.